looking
Full-on Ghost. Hate to be harping on about this, but getting Aavak's undiluted reactions is one of the joys of watching his streams, if not the main attraction. Oh, I'm glad you appreciate that. And again, you know, I feel that whenever someone draws my attention to this sort of thing, I really, really do appreciate that people are being so very well-behaved in regards to spoilers, as I get the impression a lot of people have played this game and are really, really into it. And so it must be very hard to resist spoiling things. And sometimes I'm sure things sneak out a little bit accidentally. Truth being known, that is part of the reason why I'm I'm allowing chat to move past without watching it too closely, because it gives more time for my mods to nod and notice that something might be in spoiler territory and just quickly erase that message. So if you do feel that I am being particularly slow to read chat, that is part of the reason why. You can think of it like the 20-second buffer that you get with radio shows, so that if someone just blurts out a curse accidentally in excitement, they're like, yep, no, that's not going through on live radio. That's kind of where we are. Right. What do you know of spellcraft?
I've forgotten more than most blood chanters have ever learned.
That's quite the boast, Lantry, but I do believe it.
What do you want to know?
Well, can you teach me anything?
Most certainly. I probably should have shown you how to mend wounds sooner. If you have a moment, I can show you the healing sigil I was trained to use.
No time like the present. I am so happy that we can now do this in a place that seems to be more or less safe. Rummaging through his satchels, the sage produces a long quill and crumpled piece of parchment. With 7 quick strokes of the quill, he inks a pattern on the page. Duke Leto, Aavak, it's super hard to resist, but seeing someone else see moments like your claiming of the Spire for the first time is definitely worthwhile. I'm so glad you enjoy that. I know it can be a bit time-consuming when I'm, pondering and pouring my attention over, like, what to some people, like, oh yeah, I basically chose, more or less flipped a coin, or I just chose immediately, whereas I'm like, what would my character do? Where would he be mentally based on his upbringing and his tutelage, etc., etc., but it really makes the stories feel more real to me, or feel more that I can invest in them. We'll start with first principles. When mending wounds and easing pain, we invoke the magic of the orphan midwife, Archon of Rebirth. By invoking her sigil, we channel her mastery, however briefly, through our hands. Now, trace the sigil, following the lines in the order I sketched them. Okay. I would like to know a little bit more about the Archon of Rebirth first. Didn't realize you gave a care about history. Well, the orphan midwife was born in 160, bowed to Kairos in 201. They say where she walked, plants would sprout. The sick would grow vigorous. She also sent most folks into fits of rage and animals into heat. She sounds like quite the right. Wow. Okay. I mean, life finds a way. We know her magic by way of one of her first disciples who migrated to the Tiers in 222 to spread her wisdom, an act that happened to be illegal under Kairos law. For that, and a host of other transgressions, the orphan midwife has been imprisoned for over a century. Oh, so the story goes. Wow, okay. Interesting. That does not sound particularly good for them. So, let's carry on. Arolof. I can't pronounce your name. Arolophos, I think. Yes, also, I can say that so far, Aavak has been taking his time on exactly the right decisions. I'm very glad to hear that. Since this isn't your first cantrip, I'll move a little quickly, but I think you can keep up. Lantry walks you through countless repetitions of signing the mystic sigil. For hours, you wave your hands in the air to no effect, until at last, you sign the pattern in the air and feel a rush of power through your veins. There you go. Abbot gains 5 control life skill ranks. Woohoo! And so, if you need to heal a pain as opposed to purge an infection, you'd move your hand like so. But, that's enough for now. I think the rest you can figure out on your own. Okay. Thank you. What kind of magic did the sages teach you? Sage Sinden tutored me in the traditional sigils, those of preservation, concealment, and healing, as derived from the bygone archons of Theravis, of Fading Wrath, and the Orphan Midwife. The preservation magic is largely functional, sealing parchment, binding books, that sort of thing. All of us chroniclers learn concealment magic, as our ideal method would be to study events without contaminating the decisions being made. As for the healing magic, many of us modern sages study this a great deal. The school has a shoddy reputation among the common folk. I figure if they knew us as healers and caregivers, maybe we start to change opinion. They didn't teach you to conjure lightning or something fun? Sounds boring. So you study magic to spy on people? Or healing? Now, that's a noble craft to study. I'm going to go with this one. True, but given how accident-prone I can be, I think the person that benefits most from my magic is me. But certainly, the most gratifying spells I know are the ones that ease pain and suffering. They make me feel slightly useful. Oh, Lantry. Wow, loyalty 4? My lord. What can you tell me about signing magics? Scholars don't have a good word for what archons do when they cast magic. Couldn't tell you how Graven Ash casts his protection over his soldiers, nor would I know how Bled and Mark consciously decides to move through a shadow. What? Bled and Mark can move through shadows? Bled and Mark is Kairos' knife in the shadows, the unseen drop of poison that enforces the Overlord's will. He reports to Tunon, the Adjudicator, serving in his capacity as the final word to those who hold Kairos law in contempt. Few know the origin of the Archon of Shadows, or how Kairos maintained a hold of him. Those who anger the Archon never live long past sunset. Very well. But when us mere mages want to cast a spell, we do so by signing the sigil of an Archon that previously discovered the magical phenomenon in question. It's debatable whether Archons create new magic or just discover magic that was waiting for us, but such questions seem impossible to answer while sober. I mean, that's true of quite a few things, actually. Lantry loyalty ability. Wheel of Ages. Let's have a look. Wow, we've gone my lord, we've gone really far. Okay, Wheel of Ages. Combo ability. The Fatebinder and Lantry work together to create a slowing aura around a party member. Foes within range of the aura are slowed. When party members move inside the aura, they will have their hostile effects suspended. Wow. That's ridiculously good. That is genuinely amazing. Okay. For 30 seconds, that would affect people. That is genuinely quite fantastic. Okay. Well, we've had a long chat with Lantry, so I'm gonna not chat with Lantry again for a little bit. There does seem to be more to talk about, but we have covered quite a lot. So let's not be too hasty. Right, Sigil of Life. Let's find out about you. I would like to hover over it. Using the Sigil of Life infuses the target with an energy of the Orphan Midwife, Archon of Rebirth. All but the most serious wounds are healed by this arcane energy. Though the Orphan Midwife was powerful, her gifts were not suited to resisting the armies of Kairos. She was captured and chained, and her powers harnessed to serve Kairos armies. Many chroniclers of Kairos Empire believe her powers were the driving force behind the Empire's quick expansion. Okay, so that's a 20 law straight up. Oof. Okay. Expressions. I could have Sigil of Distant Impact or Focused Intent. If only I could do that in cones. That would be rather awesome. Target ally plus 26% health, range 2 meters. This, 2% health. That's a AoE, okay. 1 meter. 5% allied target, 5% health, recovery 1.75, projectiles 3. What? That seems pretty awesome. Release tiny bolts of life energy that restore a large amount of health to the target. So in total, 15% health. And if I increase the AoE, then... Ooh. But this would be incredibly... I'm not far off it, mind. That being said. So let's turn that one off for now. I could increase the range if I really wanted to. But let's increase the strength. Alternatively, I could go with this one. That's effectively what Lantry's got. 26% health, range 2 meters. Channel healing energy into the target, restoring health instantly. I could make it stronger. The 32% of health. It's got a lower cooldown too. Select range. So there's no particular reason not to have the range on it as well. Channeling healing energy into the target, restoring health instantly. Yes, assign this both to Lantry and which one do I want to get rid of? False Pit is particularly good though. I think I'm going to pop that in there. There we go. Now Lantry. Yeah, we've both got that. Now I would like to make another one. See if I can make one that isn't particularly expensive. I can make one that even Barrack can use. That's really nice. That would need to be 55, so no. That would be 45. I could make it one that Verse could use. Tempting. Or I could just turn that off and leave it as. If I use this, it's 50, which almost Verse, but okay. I would like... Titan's Touch is cool, but don't think specifically that useful. Yeah, I'm going to give it to... Actually, both of them. I want my entire party to be able to heal. Just a little bit, but I think that'll be very useful. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now then. That was a lot of dialogue with Lantry, and I do thank you all very much for being patient with me there. But let's get a little bit more progress before I talk with Verse and eventually Barrack. So what do I need to do here? On closer inspection, the series of symbols carved around the base of the structure come into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of Ascension Hall moments before you found yourself transported above the clouds. As you stare at the symbol, the chill of the wind abates and your chest swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming, your lungs sated at last. Now, I'd be careful going any closer. This whole tower is humming with energies that we don't understand. Lantry holds his quill poised above a sheet of parchment with anticipation. Now, I didn't say back away. Let's find out what it does. Just be cautious. Well, we already know what it does. Didn't the Fifth Eye go through it? You staked your claim on the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. I feel dizzy. Do you feel dizzy? Barrack massages the brow of his helmet, causing a howl of grinding iron to echo across the expanse. Please don't do that. My lord, what is this thing? The surface of the stone edifice trembles at your words. For a brief moment, the solid rock undulates, the same motion as a quiet pond rippled by rain. An echo bounces back from afar, your voice distorted and unfamiliar. Is this thing? Really? Your voice. For a moment there, it sounded like a song. The sculpture is once again still. There is a rush warmth through your body, a jolt of enervation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactile sensation floods your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You are feeling the wind against the spire, and even the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine. Did I just tell the spire to make me aware of what... Did I just book it? What? Okay. With this connection made, you feel your awareness pull from this place, not as a traveller, but as one glimpsing the world from impossibly far away. In this moment, there is nothing you cannot see, though you see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensation that is difficult to pass. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure, two walls extending off into the distance. At the base of this eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settlers pause in shared unease and look up at the sky, toward you. Some of the faces looking at you are familiar, and you recognize this place as Lethian's Crossing, where you served during the war. Near the settlement built at the joining of the ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive masonry, a cleft into the forbidden, hidden realm within old walls. Drift into the old wall's entrance. Shadows envelop you, muting all sound and vision with slight delay. There is a feeling of preservation, of wrongness. Of perversion and wrongness. Whatever arcane power is allowing your sense to drift free of your body seems to falter in this place. Figures haunt the stone walls, drifting emanations of cloud, claw, and fang. They pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In the depth of this forbidden place, the deepest chambers is bathed in light. An arcane symbol illuminates the floor, though the details hurt your eyes when you focus. With a gentle tug, your focus pulls back to a new horizon, though it takes you a moment to recognize it as Vendrin's Well. You've returned to the awareness of your immediate surroundings. The effect leaves you unsteady on your feet. Drift close to the spire, then. The spire feels similar to the one you now occupy, though instead of radiating arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone. A branch withering once pulled from its tree. It reaches for you with a barely perceptible tug. The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies for a moment are quiet. Your body flooded with excitement and fatigue. It's unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. The tower offers nothing by way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation is over, but the positions of the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point atop the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above the distant surroundings. Well, well. Did you sense that? Lantry signs a long sigil in the air, squinting at you as he works his cantrip. The ripples are everywhere. When you move, the magic of this place stirs and churns. That portal over there, those burning braziers, they all grow more intense as you approach. I think it's responding to your presence. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended Kairos' edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connections to this place is related? Either way, sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. Wow. Okay. So we've got a new journal entry. Right, it's okay. So, the Voices of Kairos. Tunon awaits your return to his court in the Bastard City. Stirring visions? Whatever you did in Ascension Hall in Vendrin's Well has given you the power to interact with the Spire. Before you ascended the Spire, you had a vision. When you broke. Okay. You had a vision of spires scattered across the tiers and could feel the connection between them and the spire you claimed at Vendrin's Well. Gather more information about these mysterious structures and seek them out wherever possible. You've gained access to Haven. The region's spire is attached to the old walls at the Lathian's Crossing settlement. Travel there to find a way to gain access to the spire. Alright. And path to power. You've turned against everyone, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus and the Vendrian Guard, and decided you'll forge your own path to power in the tiers. Read Bled and Mark's missive. You received a mysterious missive from Tunon's headsman, Bled and Mark. May very well concern your actions against Kairos forces in Ascension Hall. Uh-oh. Stab in the dark. Okay. Kid, it appears you've gotten yourself into a bit of trouble. But was it treachery or merely a misstep? In the heat of combat, gut intuition is not infallible. I'll give you that. Of course, most do understand there'll be little more than warm splatter on the ground, should they decide to fight both foe and ally at once. Your saving grace is the Spire's awakening, which has floored even the adjudicator. However, if you defy the Overlord again, the court will have no choice but to also openly denounce you. I would caution you to tread more carefully should you truly wish to walk among the righteous and chosen. This path you now skirt is one of darkness and death. Will you keep closer to the light or the shadows, as they say? Choose correctly, or I'll be compelled to kill you as I have slain countless detractors and archons before. Understand? However, perhaps most luckily for you, as an acting agent of the court, you still have a chance of redemption. Your penchant for mayhem has brought discord on our conquest and ired our allies. Should you become caught by one of them, my guess is they'll have an interesting punishment awaiting you. Come to an agreement with Ash or Narat, and we all would rest easier. Do hurry, if you'd like to live a little longer. Blade and Mark, Archon of Shadows and Court Blade. I could burn the missive, or arrange a meeting. I'm going to agree to arrange a meeting. I'd see no reason not to. Oh, wait, yeah, this is green text. There's something unusual about the ink on this missive. Hold the missive over candlelight. Oh, this is amazing! Oh my god! I love the use of green text in this game. Kid, you've got guts. I'll give you that. Of course, there'll be a little more than a warm splatter on your spire's floor if you defy the Overlord again, so openly. I would caution you to tread more carefully should you truly wish to walk this path of darkness. Keep closer to the shadows, as they say, or I'll be compelled to kill you as I've slain countless detractors and Archons before. Understand? However, perhaps most luckily for you, your penchant for mayhem has caught my interest. Come to Ash Wield, if you'd like to live a little longer. This is amazing! Oh my god! I love this game! Accept his advice. Alright. So, Ash Wield. Meet Blade and Mark at Ashweald. The Archon of Shadows is apparently a fan of your work in Vendrian's Well and wishes to help further your ascension in the tiers. He wants to speak with you at Ashweald. Aavak's joy is bloody infectious. That's honestly the way the joy works in my experience. Okay, I want to check out my map, I guess. Map, world map. Can I go further out? Okay. We've got many things. Sunset Spire in Haven. Bastard City to the north, where I gotta go for Tunon. Cacophony. The howling masses of Nerat's horde reside here amongst the dry, rocky plateau clustered on the stone sea's outer rim. Okay. Ashweald by the burning library entrance. Okay. Iron Hearth, Sentinel Stand, Blade Grave. Unfortunately, they're kind of far apart. Okay, so the path of my progress. Ashweald, up to Sunset Spire, and then maybe on to Bastard City. It kind of, other than going to Ashweald, it sort of kind of makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel compelled to go to Tunon, but I don't want to be ungrateful to someone who has literally given me the life I have. But we're going to go to Ashweald first. It feels like that is probably a lot more sensible. But that is fantastic. Okay, with that done, I feel a little bit more compelled to speak with both Barrack and Verse. Now, I'm going to try and spread out all of the talking. There's an awful lot, I know, but we do need to get this done because they are, apparently, they want to talk. So, Verse, let's have a chat.
So, the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored are at each other's throats. Can't say I didn't see that coming, but the Archons might have waited until one war was over before they started another.
The talking is okay, Aavak. You have a lovely voice. Oh, Logi Wong, thank you. That's so nice of you to say. Okay. Do you think I made the right decision? I'm not going to doubt myself. I feel I made the right decision. Their war doesn't interest me.
Funny sentiment, considering you're in the center of it. Not that I'm judging.
Good.
I'll say this much. Our time together is anything but dull. My blades are yours for as long as you'll have me.
Noted. I have questions for you.
What do you need?
All right. Let's have a look. Loyalty 3. It's not too bad. I've thought about your combat abilities.
Do you now? Call me intrigued. You already know that I memorized the moves of my Scarlet Fury sisters. If it seems like a total mystery to me, I don't know how you could have arrived at any conclusions, but I'm open to ideas.
Okay. Okay, so I can go with lore, or I can go with subterfuge. Your talent reminds me of the voice in the rat. Or did you take their fighting moves, or the memory of their fighting moves? Remind you of everyone? Subterfuge would be decent. Can't remember what my subterfuge is at, but I always like rising my lore, so... Your talent reminds me of the voice of Narat.
I hope I didn't hear you say that, Fatebinder. Because the implication is more than either of us is prepared to handle. The voices of Narat is a monster. We both know that Taratus has never seen a creature more despicable than him. Never mind that he's kind of my boss.
Because you can't begin to understand, the voice of Narat steals the minds. Think about it. He absorbs the minds of his victims. I'm not comparing you to the voices, only this talent you exhibit.
My little talent that latches onto my friends and bleeds them dry, you mean? Because I never asked for it.
Oof.
I've traveled with the chorus for years. I've seen what the voices can do, and it scares me, all right? The idea that everything I am could be reduced to that. If I had that kind of power, if I could become like him, I don't know how I could live with myself. I'd rather drown myself in a camp latrine.
I mean, I can think of lots of other ways you could drown yourself that wouldn't be quite as disgusting, so that is quite a good way of expressing just how much you hate the idea. You don't have to become like him, just be selective.
I'm sure he had the same idea when he got started. But you know what they say about power? It's usually wielded by assholes.
I hadn't heard them say that before, but I yeah, makes sense.
My sisters died. Oh, you should have seen us. We were amazing together. I didn't mean to take away what made them special, but I did it all the same. And let me tell you, it felt terrible.
I can imagine, yes.
If I lived a century, I might never figure out how to make that happen again. And more importantly, I don't want to.
Okay. Well, I can tell. Have either of you noticed that you fight particularly well together? Let's not. Your apparent connection with Barrack. Let's not on that one either. I want to ask about our travels.
What did you have in mind?
What do you think of the present circumstances? I've turned on my fair share of friends, but never on that scale. Showing your rear to the rebels and allies alike, playing sides against each other. Well, it's inspiring, really. If I had been smarter at the time, I would have done more scheming in my early days. Zigzagging around the tiers, pissing off authorities as we go. I suppose there are worse ways to occupy one's time. Any particular reason you've chosen to travel with me?
Well, if you're baiting me for a compliment, you're talking to the wrong girl.
No, I'm just genuinely interested.
I don't have a gang anymore, and I wouldn't throw in my lot with any of the killers floating around the Scarlet Chorus ranks. The fact of the matter is you're doing important work, even if you stumble and flail along the way.
Thanks.
If that puts me at odds with my Scarlet Chorus ties, so be it. I'm not such a camp follower that I don't look after my interests first. And I find you interesting.
Okay.
You've satisfied your curiosity, so let me satisfy mine. Why are you keeping a little scrap of a thing like me around?
I have feelings for you. Mostly fear. That's the primary. Yeah, I'm fairly certain you could kill me while I slept. Rather handedly, actually. It's kind of exhilarating in its own sort of way. It keeps me on my toes. But you're a hardened killer. That's reason enough. I consider us friends, don't you? I don't think she does. And we probably shouldn't consider her friends. We're allies for the time being. And I just turned on most of mine. So, yeah. And yet, I wish there was like a hunter option. You're part of my pack, basically. It's a tricky one. No, you're a hardened killer. That's reason enough.
I wonder what makes you so sure I won't cut your throat some evening.
Nothing,
just to
actually.
hear you gurgle. It's taking a risk when you travel with someone like me. I suppose time will tell.
She flashes you a pleasant smile. I'm sure it will. Like I said, yeah, avoiding death is a skill like any other, and a skill that needs to be practiced. Maybe I'm keeping you around to keep my edge keen. What do you think of our traveling companions? Anyone in particular? Tell me about Lantry. I've been meaning to ask you about him. Lantry is talkative, reads when he isn't writing, and brings as much to the battlefield as a sick bird. The warriors at your side shouldn't suffer from Elder's aches in the sword arm. You would be better served by putting him out of his misery. I like him. I consider him a friend. I do. Oh, pardon the fuck out of me, Fatebinder. If I'd known we were out to make friends, I would have brought my tea set and some stalwart hardcakes. I don't trust Lantry, and he's going to get us killed. I see him twitch. I might just make the first move myself. Oh, that's fine. What about Barrack? I'll give him some due credit. He's more complicated than he looks. He's still an intolerant and unapologetic bastard, but that's more his business than mine. What about Ebb? It's easy to respect someone who brings that much passion to a battle. Even so, when she gets to talking about pushing Kairos out of the tiers, she makes me want to carve my opinion on the matter across her back. Okay. Back to previous questions. And again.
Go ahead, Fatebinder.
Okay then. Well, Barrack was the only one that you had anything good to talk about. Have you ever noticed that you fight particularly well together?
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
Yeah, I want you to train together.
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
If neither of you is up to the challenge, then I won't force the matter.
A valiant attempt.
Ah, damn it.
But I'm not as easily swayed by your courtly tongue.
Neither am I. At least, not in this context.
Well, why? Oh, my lord. We can discuss this again later, I guess. I'm not going to force him, I suppose. That's fine. That was amusing. Very. Right. Actually, let me just double check. I want to bring up my... which one was it that gave me the idea? Reputation. There we go. Almost at 4 with verse, actually. Barrack, though, is going to be super low. And it's going to be super low for a long time, I feel. Honestly, if... I don't know, maybe Ebb or Lantry could replace, I don't know. It's a difficult one. That one. I'm not sure which one would be better, Ebb or Lantry. Right, Barrack stares at you through his narrow eye slits, saying nothing at all. The only evidence that he still lives is the steam of heavy exhalation that escaped the cracks of his helm. Are you alright in there, Barrack? He continues to stare, unmoving. But you can't see his face, you get the impression that his mood has darkened even further. The stench that his armor exudes has intensified. I could poke him. Asking him if he's mad about something is just... it's almost insulting. Barrack, did you die under there? A loud sigh escapes the helmet and Barrack shakes his head in tired bewilderment.
You betrayed Graven Ash, the Legion, and our northern countrymen. As far as I'm concerned, you are a traitor to this campaign.
Leans in close, looking ready to throttle you. All of the powers behind this war failed to impress me. I carve out my own path. It was my right as Tunan's Fatebinder to choose a side. That's true. I could go for the athletics, but I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I could just continue to push fear. But this is ultimately why I chose it. No one was particularly strong. And I see no reason to lie to Barrack.
It is not the job of archons or soldiers to pander to every legal clerk who strolls through camp. Tunon dispatched you to the tiers with a mission, and you failed. Let us be clear on one point.
Disagree with that, actually.
You have my blade, but my heart belongs to Ash and the North. I am a weapon bound to you only by duty. Nothing more.
Well, that didn't quite go particularly well. Okay, but we've gained the fear ability, Blade Grave's Grasp. A powerful attack that traps nearby enemies in twisted spires of rock, petrifying them for a short time. Wow, okay. Okay. Barrack was elated by my noble ways. Okay. I see. Alright, well, I am tempted to see what Ebb's stats are like if I can somehow.
Salutations, Fatebinder. Or should I now call you Lord of Vendrian's Well? The Spire King? Prince of the Suggestive Vertical Slab.
I approve. Aavak will suffice.
So if I might ask, what is your plan now? The edict no longer looms overhead, and Kairos' conquest of the tiers seems to be slipping. What with the armies in civil war?
I mean, local opposition, complete the conquest. None of your concern. I'm improvising. Any suggestions? First order of business, I should speak with Tunon.
I would counsel you to do just that. I'm sure the events of Vendrian's Well are best explained from your mouth to Tunon's ears. Furthermore, I'd guess the Archon of Justice would want to know your take on the Archons and their divide.
Okay. But other than that, I am improvising. Well, rather, I'm not improvising, but I would like to hear your suggestion.
My first suggestion would be to build a boat. Something durable, and take our chances on the high seas far from Kairos. I have a second and more practical suggestion. Look to the horizon and slightly up. By that I mean the other spires. We should see what's atop the others. Otherwise someone else might look first.
I don't suppose you've heard others awakening the spires like I did?
Queens and kings of past ages have claimed the spires in the sense of, hey, look, I put up a scaffold and hung a banner 1/10 of the height of a spire. But that's nowhere near the same thing as what we all just saw.
Glad to know then that I am the first.
So I say, let's see if the other spires react to you the same way this one does. If we don't, I'll take that as your way of saying you suffer from debilitating acrophobia.
Okay. Well, that's all I have for now.
Well, short of Tunon giving you orders on pain of death, you have the luxury of acting on your own volition. Though the disfavored are likely to come for you.
Probably.
Whatever you decide, I'm at your disposal.
Well, your assistance will be most helpful. Thanks.
And I am thankful to not be a bloody pile of offal in Vendrian's Well. Life under your banner will, I'm sure, prove most interesting.
Okay, interesting. Well, let's speak a little further as well.
What is it you need?
We should discuss matters at hand, largely I want to see your stats, so I have need of your skills.
Of course. It's about time to stretch the old sea legs.
For the time being, I'm going to swap out... No, maybe swap out Lantry, but... maybe Barrack for now.
Fatebinder.
There we go. Let's just take Barrack out for a second. I want to see how you look in here. Let's have a quick glance at your stats. So, 4 points that I can spend. Wow, okay. Let's have a look at your talents. Repelling Blast. Create a powerful jet of water that strikes a nearby target and knocks them back. Grave Light. Send a charged bolt of arcane energy at a foe that bounces to hit nearby... Ooh, that sounds good. Taratus Gate. Ebb uses Grave Light to teleport across the battlefield. Enemies near her cast and destination location are hit with a Grave Light attack that drains health. Call to the Grave. Once per encounter, Ebb's health is critical. She causes an explosion of Grave Light energy around her that drains health from nearby foes. Wow, okay, so what is Grave Light then? Some sort of interesting one. Whereas this is obviously water. Mother's Embrace. Summon a globe of water to surround the target's head, leaving them to slowly drown. Wow, that's full on. Fluid Body. Afflictions applied to Ebb have their durations reduced. Elements of Fury gain a bonus to all frost damage. Runic Barrier grants bonus armor when Ebb is wearing light armor. Lift a target in the air and violently throw them back down to the ground, dealing crush damage. Or Grave Strike. Cause each enemy in a cone to trigger an explosion of Grave Light energy. Foes take arcane damage and a portion of their lost health is drained back to Ebb. So Ebb can siphon health. That's amazing. Moonlit Way grants a bonus to control Grave Light skill and Grave Light damage at night. Okay. While in the party, Ebb and her allies gain more skill experience with lore, spells, and magic staves. Grants bonus lore and additional spell slots. Affliction caused by Ebb. Okay. Runic Barrier. Call of Reckoning. As present, frightens nearby Bane. Bane? No idea what that is. Ebb suspends the target in midair. They can only be hit by ranged attacks and cannot attack, move, be stunned, or knocked down. Well, that's not too bad. Spell Barrier. Grants bonus to magic defense. Element Fury. Empowered elements. Spells and abilities gain a larger area of... Ooh, now that sounds nice. Mother's Breath. Create a thick fog that reduces enemy accuracy. Grants bonus to the party's subterfuge. Clear Mind. While Ebb is not taking damage, her recovery time is reduced, and she strikes twice with her normal attacks. Being hit removes this bonus for a few seconds. Repelling Wave. Create a powerful wave that repels foes in a cone, pushing each of them back for a fair distance. Surging Waters. Once per encounter. Health is critical. She triggers a Nova repelling waters to surge outwards around her. Swift Current. Okay, this is actually pretty cool. Return to the source. Ebb summons water from the target's body and tissue. It then erupts out of them in a surge, dealing massive damage in the process. That sounds as interesting as grotesque. When Mother's Embrace erupts, nearby targets are afflicted with drowning. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I think I might take some Gravelight. The lifesteal, I'm always big on lifesteal, but this one in particular is pretty cool. Lasts for 30 seconds. Recovery, 1 second total. 8 meters. 12 arcane. Bounces to 4 foes. And then Grave Strike causes each enemy in a cone to trigger an explosion of Grave Light energy. Yeah, I think we're going to grab this. Then we'll take this one as well. Because I just like the sound of that. Quite a lot, actually. Bonus armor. Lift the target into the air. No, Grave Strike. Causes each enemy in the cone. Let's have a look. Yes, 13.0 health drained. 1 second total. Radius 8 meters. That is actually really nice. So yeah, we'll grab that one. Save this. Now, Taratarus Call seems decent. 20 to 28 crushing damage. We need a staff for that one. Purifying waters conjure enhanced waters to wash over the target, removing a random hostile effect. Get a bonus to damage dealt by magic staves. If we can get down there, that is going to be just amazing. Sure, we'll grab this. And I think that's all our points. We should be able to grab this next level up, though. Alright then. Sigil. Photographer's parry, frozen for 6 seconds. Nice. Magic cells, control grave light, control lightning, tide casting. Well, let's pop some into wits and increase your lore. And if I can take your lore all the way up, 55 isn't as great, but... Dodge, control lightning. Control grave light, two-handed weapons. There's no reason for us to go for that one. No, I'm going to put a little bit more in lore. In fact, all of it in lore. There we go. Let's have a look at your spells then. You've got Phantom Bolt and Electric Jolt. I don't have these abilities yet, but maybe I can learn them. I might have a word. Ooh, why is that 5 there? Oh, you're right on the amount of experience you need. Well, let's speak with you a little bit more now you're in the party. Ebb nods at your approach and offers a curt bow.
What is it you need?
Wish to discuss matters at hand.
I'm still amazed we survived the Edict of Execution. The Chorus may outnumber us, and the disfavored seem to grow more aggressive every passing span. But we've endured our neap days. The struggle now turns in our favor.
Okay, let's talk of something else.
What is it you need?
I have some questions for you.
Ask away.
Let's speak of magic.
You know, I normally charge for this, but for you...
Ebb smiles, awaiting your query. Okay, what can you tell me about your magical tradition?
Now, you know that's a very personal question. The knowledge I have is a centuries-old gift from the Archon of Tides. I would sooner discard my life than the sanctity of that gift. I will speak in generalities only.
That's fair. Ask. Worst I can do is not tell you.